So if you remember a little while ago, we did a video on the fact that herbs will no longer being dropped from bosses and farming will be the future. Well, as opposed today, announcing just that. So on November the 7th, the Garden of Corrid is coming out and it's going to change Runescape forever. Because herbs will have, well, just vanished from bosses. They'll vanish from bosses, and they will reduce from Slayer creatures. And the only way to get them, well, the best way to get them, by far, will be by farming. So yeah, what we have is a big farming update, but not just that. We have farming and thieving and runecrafting. So we'll get onto that in a little bit. Basically, 2 new druids have come into contact with a surprise bunch of shrubbery in the world, and we need to help them out, basically. So we're going to help them out, and we're going to do that by planting herbs, and then if we plant herbs, and then we farm the herbs, and then we tell them about the herbs we planted, then we will be rewarded a currency, a brand new currency. Similar to beans, I guess, from Player and Farms. There's a list of the rewards just a little bit further down, which we'll go over in a minute. And yeah, so farm herbs. But don't worry, it's not the simple one at a time herb that they used to be, because there are, we scroll down now, there are some unlocks that you can get. So a nice easy one here. At least I'm hoping 250 points is quite easy. You would hope so. But yeah, you can get the unlock to plant 2 herb seeds instead of 1. And then, of course, you can upgrade it again. Sorry, it's quite late, I'm yawning. Upgrade it again into 4 herbs, then 7 herbs, then 10 herb seeds in one go. That one costs 25,000 points, which again, we don't really have a an idea of how long that's going to take. I really hope not that long, but we'll have to wait and see. So yeah, those are the herb rewards. That's pretty cool. And these are permanent unlocks, by the way. So once you've got these from the shop, you can get them. Well, yeah, they will be active forever, which is pretty awesome. So you've got the herb seeds thing. You've got the skipping the first growth stage of a herb patch, which I think that's how they're reducing the herb growth timers from, is it 80 minutes to 60 minutes? Is that correct? I might be slightly wrong there. It might just be like 60 minutes in general, but this would make sense. That would line up. I haven't got all the details, but something like that anyway. There's another thing, Bountiful Harvest, that gives you increased harvest from grapevines, bushes, cacti, and fruit trees. Grapevines in particular, very useful there. A lot of sour lemon wines to be made potentially, which is pretty cool. The Farmer's App thing, there's a couple of very big ones, but yeah, a couple of very big ones here as well. And it's a reward that I've been wanting to have for quite a long time. And it is reduces the number of ticks per craft for incense sticks by 50%. Honestly, if you're an Iron Man especially, this has been something that we've been wanting for so unbelievably long. Like, they take such a crazy amount of time to make, so I'm definitely glad there's a reward here to make it faster. I feel like it's a little bit random that it's tied to the farming shop rather than anything fire-makey, like you know, the fire-making cape perk, for example. But you know, at least it's somewhere, so that's pretty cool. And another cool thing as well is you can buy an unlock that will make it so your incense stick effects are no longer lost upon death. So these 2 in particular, super cool, both for Iron Men and Mainscapers. So we're going to be using less sticks. There are going to be more sticks, which basically means stick prices are going to go down a little bit, which is really cool. And if you're an Iron Man, you can just make more. So that's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. So big fan of that. And then we also have some other things you can buy, which is basically just just Granny P's bean shop. And the fact that these cost 30,000 for like the Instagrow potion for the trees whereas they cost like, is it like 3,000 beans? Like, that makes me think that these points are going to be like pretty decently okay to obtain. So, you know, hopefully it won't be too bad. Especially because like 30,000 points for one tree. Like, I can't see anyone ever buying that unless you literally get like hundreds of thousands of points per day. But I guess we'll have to see. And yeah, here's how herbs work. Now, I haven't really read through all of this properly, but basically you can put lots of seeds in a farming patch. They have diminishing returns because I guess because they're competing for nutrients, but you will get extra benefit, which is quite nice. So there is that. So basically 10 seeds at full power is basically 5 seeds, I guess, because like 5 times 3 is 15. So that's a thing. So you'll get like, what, 50 herbs, 60 herbs, 70 herbs, maybe 80 herbs per patch. I'm not really sure, but it's going to be a lot. Disease is disappearing. No longer disease your crops, but you can... but yeah, it now like... sorry. Words are difficult. Disease exists, but dying no longer exists. Reading is hard. But yes, your herbs can get diseased, but they will no longer die. You can fix them, everything's fine. So that's cool. Compost bin changes. I mean, who cares about compost? Not me. Nightshade patches, again, don't really care. But thieving changes. These ones are pretty cool. So the Sticky Fingers relic is now a baseline feature of the game, which can be very, very good. Especially for stuff like the Desert Phoenix, which they've mentioned here. You no longer have to have done the hard desert diaries to auto pickpocket the feathers. Like, how cool is that? So good for anyone that hasn't done that. Because the desert diary is rather... Oh, it's very outdated and just rather annoying, so that's pretty cool. But what the Sticky Fingers relic does do now is any place where Sticky Fingers worked before, so like ham members, for example, it makes pickpocketing faster. So if you're an easy clue farmer, like you get them from ham members, it's like the best way by far. And you can get them from ham members with your relic 50% faster, or just without the relic, just still decent. And the big one down here is right at the bottom. Loot table changes. All bosses dropping grimy herbs will now drop seeds of the same type of herb in reduced amounts. So this is the terrifying change. I don't know if I personally am going to like this, but it is probably a good thing for the game. I just hope the the actual farming stuff is going to be very, very good for getting herbs at least, but we'll have to see how it goes. And yeah, Abyssal Lords, Fire Lords, and Nature's Grove creatures have had their herb drops reduced, which I feel like I wasn't getting like an insane amount of herbs from those guys anyway. I was getting a few, of course, but yeah, if they feel they have to reduce them, then sure, I guess. And yeah, you can still get herbs the normal way from Slayer creatures, but at a reduced rate. So just nerfed on Slayer, removed from bosses, and we'll have to see how things go. But yeah, personally, I'm most excited for the incense stick changes. That's super cool. Maybe even the grapevine things if I can be bothered. Probably not, but also, you know, planting 10 herbs in one patch. I'm gonna have so many Arbucks and fell stalks, things that I kind of haven't had recently, and I guess the reward shop here is a good motivation to actually do your farming. So yeah, look forward to that. And what we didn't go over as well was the runecrafting changes, which are pretty darn cool. I guess the thieving ones as well. But basically, it's like some mid-level thieving training methods. And also, the only way to obtain catalytic and elemental anima stones. So you pickpocket the druid people, and you get some cool stuff. And what that cool stuff does is when you have them in your inventory, I believe they're like stackable items, which they will increase the number of runes you can obtain from each rune essence by 2. So there are 2 different types, of course, catalytic and elemental. That was the elemental earth, water, fire, and earth. So if you're in the market for water Runecrafting, then it's now going to get twice as good. So that's really cool. Or technically three times as good if it goes from 1 to, what, because I think it goes like +2 instead of multiplied by 2. So that could be incredibly good for some of the runes there. But yeah, I'm most excited for water runes and blood runes, even a few astral runes. So definitely looking forward, at least if these come in good quantities anyway. They did say that they are going to be added in the future to other loot tables, rather than just pickpocketing, so definitely curious about that. But yeah, maybe my my water rune and my blood rune problems are going to be forever solved with these new rune stone thingies. So yeah, that's kind of a summary of the things that I think are the most important parts of the update. There are a few more bits and bobs in there, I'm sure, like the compost thing, like compost bins, but I don't really care about those, to be honest. But there are some changes, you can read them if you want to. But yeah, hope you guys are looking forward to this update. It's coming on November the 7th. Hopefully you didn't mind the slight rambling. It is like 1 a.m. right now. I'm a bit tired, so sorry about that. But yeah, hopefully we'll enjoy this on Monday, when potentially the whole world will be shrouded in chaos. Or not. Who knows? Like, I'm really, I don't know. I really cannot predict how this is going to go down. It's either going to be an incredibly cool update or a colossal mistake. And I really don't know which. I'm like slightly leaning towards cool update. But at least the rewards are good. Big fan of the rewards. But it's just, what is the future of herbs? Let me know what you think is going to happen in the comments. And I will see you all again soon. Let's get farming.